A friendly giant or a silent killer? In the animal kingdom, looks can be deceiving. The walrus, known for its slow, lumbering movements on land and its almost comical appearance, doesn't seem like an apex predator. With its long tusks, whiskered face and massive blubbery body, it's easy to assume it's just another gentle sea mammal. But what if I told you that a single walrus, without claws, without sharp teeth, managed to drown not one but two full-grown men? And this wasn't a vicious attack. No snarling, no bloodshed, just a deadly embrace that led to a horrifying end. One moment, a businessman excitedly snapped selfies with the animal. The next, he was yanked into the water in an unbreakable grip. A desperate rescue attempt followed, one that cost the life of the very man who had cared for the walrus for over a decade. What exactly happened that day at the Xixiakou Wildlife Park in China? Was this a tragic accident? A case of misplaced trust? Or is there something far more chilling about these powerful marine beasts that we never realized? Buckle up, because this is one of the most haunting animal encounters ever recorded. And by the end, you might never look at a walrus the same way again. Welcome to Savage Tales, animal encounters, where we bring you real-life stories of humans coming face to face with the raw, unforgiving power of nature. Whether it's the thrill of survival, the terror of the unexpected, or the tragedy of misjudging the wild, we uncover the most jaw-dropping, heart-stopping, and spine-chilling encounters ever caught on record. From vicious predator attacks to mysterious disappearances and bizarre animal behaviors, we dive deep into the dark side of nature, where instincts rule and mistakes can be fatal. And trust me, today's story will leave you questioning everything you thought you knew about gentle animals. Before we dive into this shocking tale, do me a quick favor, because if you're watching this right now, I know you love gripping, adrenaline-pumping wildlife stories just like this one. Smash that like button. Not only does it help this video reach more people, but it also lets us know you want more savage tales just like this. Subscribe if you haven't already, because every week we bring you some of the wildest, most chilling real-life animal encounters ever told. Ring that notification bell and set it to all so you never miss a single upload. Trust me, you don't want to be the last one to hear these insane stories. Drop a comment below. What do you think? Have you ever had a close call with a wild animal? Or do you think this tragic event could have been avoided? We read every single comment, and you might just see your thoughts featured in a future video. Share this video with your friends, your family, and anyone who thinks animals are all cute and harmless, because nature has a brutal side, and stories like this prove it. All right, if you're ready for this chilling real-life encounter, let's dive into today's savage tale where nature doesn't play by the rules. It was an ordinary day at Xixiakou Wildlife Park in Rongcheng, China. Or at least that's how it seemed at first. The park, known for offering up-close encounters with exotic animals, had become a popular destination for tourists eager to experience the thrill of being just a few feet away from nature's most fascinating creatures. Among the visitors that day was Jia Lijun, a successful businessman from Liaoning province. Jia, like many tourists, was captivated by the rare opportunity to interact with animals up close. Armed with his smartphone, he eagerly documented his experience, snapping photos and sharing videos with friends and family. Each post showcased his excitement, his fascination with the animals, his enthusiasm for the wildlife park, and most of all, his eagerness to capture the perfect moment. As he wandered through the park, he found himself drawn to one particular attraction, the walrus exhibit. Towering at nearly 11 feet long and weighing over 3,300 pounds, the walrus was one of the park's most majestic and beloved residents. Despite its intimidating size, it had always been regarded as a gentle giant, known more for its slow, relaxed movements on land than for any sign of aggression. For over a decade, the massive marine mammal had been under the care of its devoted trainer, Duan. Duan had spent years feeding, training, and interacting with the walrus, developing a bond that many assumed was built on mutual trust. Having worked closely with the animal, he understood its behavior better than anyone else at the park. But even a decade of experience couldn't prepare him for what was about to unfold. Jia Lijun was fascinated by the walrus. He marveled at its enormous size, its long curved tusks, and the way it lays near the water, almost as if posing for the cameras. Seizing the opportunity, he pulled out his phone once more, determined to take the ultimate selfie with the creature. Positioning himself near the edge of the enclosure, he angled his phone, making sure to capture both himself and the towering walrus behind him. Visitors watched as he posed confidently, unaware of the hidden danger lurking just beneath the surface. Duan, standing nearby, kept a close eye on the interaction. He had seen countless tourists take photos with the walrus before. After all, it was part of the experience the park offered. But something about this moment felt different. At first, the walrus remained still, observing the man in front of it. But then, subtle shifts in its behavior began to emerge, changes so minor that most people wouldn't have noticed. The calm, relaxed demeanor the animal had displayed all day began to fade. Its small, dark eyes locked onto Jia Lijun with an intensity that hadn't been there before. It shifted its weight slightly, its whiskers twitching as if sensing something new. To the untrained eye, the walrus still appeared docile. To Duan, however, these were warning signs. He had spent years studying this creature, learning its moods, recognizing its habits. Something about its posture, the way it had suddenly fixated on Jia, sent a quiet alarm through his mind. Was it curiosity, agitation, a shift in mood, or was it something far more dangerous? Duan stepped forward, his instincts telling him to intervene, but before he could react, the walrus moved, and in an instant the moment of excitement turned into a nightmare. Before anyone could react, the 300-pound walrus lunged forward with startling speed. Despite its slow, lumbering movements on land, walruses are incredibly agile swimmers, capable of propelling themselves through the water with remarkable force. And in that split second, the massive creature's instincts took over. With a sudden surge of power, the walrus wrapped its enormous blubbery body around Jia Lijun and yanked him off his feet. His phone flew from his grasp, splashing into the water below as the businessman was dragged into the pool. A chorus of horrified screams erupted from nearby onlookers. Panic surged through the crowd as people watched the horrifying scene unfold, Jia flailing, struggling against the suffocating grip of the walrus. Duan, the trainer, sprang into action. For over 10 years, he had worked with this very animal. He had trained it, cared for it, and understood its behavior better than anyone. If anyone could de-escalate the situation, it was him. Grabbing a long bamboo pole, Duan rushed to the water's edge, desperately extending it toward Jia. "Grab it!" he shouted, but Jia was already sinking, his desperate splashes growing weaker as the walrus tightened its grip, pulling him deeper into the murky water. The bamboo stick wasn't working. There was no time to think. Duan made a split-second decision. He had to go in. Without hesitation, the trainer leapt into the water, his only thought to save the struggling man. The moment Duan hit the surface, the walrus's attention shifted. For a brief moment, the crowd held their breath, hoping the trainer's presence would calm the animal. But instead of releasing Jia, the walrus seized Duan as well. It wrapped its massive flippers around him, pulling him down into the depths. The rescue had just become a second life-or-death struggle. What many people don't realize is that walruses don't attack like typical predators. They don't kill with sharp teeth or claws. They overwhelm with their sheer size and strength. Their powerful, barrel-like bodies can exert crushing force, their weight alone capable of suffocating a human. And this one? It wasn't biting. It wasn't thrashing. It was hugging. A deadly, suffocating embrace. Beneath the surface, Duan and Jia fought with everything they had, but the walrus was simply too strong. It held them close, pinning them against its massive body as it moved through the water. The more they struggled, the tighter it clung. Duan, an experienced swimmer, knew the danger, but he couldn't break free. He had survived years working with this creature, but this time his strength was no match for the walrus's sheer power. Above the water, chaos erupted. Park staff scrambled for anything that could be used to force the walrus to let go. More bamboo poles, nets, loud noises. They did everything they could to startle the animal, hoping it would release its grip, but it wouldn't let go. The water churned violently as Jia and Duan's movements grew weaker and weaker. And then, nothing. The thrashing stopped. The ripples faded. And as the walrus resurfaced, floating peacefully once more, both men were gone. By the time the rescue team managed to retrieve their bodies, it was too late. Despite desperate attempts at resuscitation, both Jia Lijun and Duan were pronounced dead. The official cause? Drowning. Shock and horror spread through the park. How could this have happened? The walrus wasn't known to be aggressive. Was it playing? Was it confused? Some experts speculated that the walrus, seeing its trainer jump in, instinctively grabbed him in what might have been a gesture of affection. Something walruses do with one another in the wild, but whether it was an accident or something else, 2 men had lost their lives. As news of the tragedy spread, outrage followed. Visitors and animal behaviorists alike questioned the safety standards of the Xixiakou Wildlife Park. Why was the enclosure not secured more effectively? Why was a 300-pound animal allowed such close interactions with visitors? Had the warning signs been ignored? The case eventually went to court, where the park was found responsible for the tragedy due to inadequate safety measures. A $130,000 settlement was ordered for the families of the victims. But the real cost? 2 lives lost. The Xixiakou Wildlife Park remained open. The walrus enclosure still in operation. But for those who witnessed that day's horrifying events, one lesson was burned into their minds forever. In the wild, even in captivity, no animal is truly safe. And when a creature that big decides to hold on, sometimes it never lets go. Wow, what a tragic and chilling story. This is yet another haunting reminder that wild animals, no matter how tame they may seem, are never truly predictable. Even the creatures we consider gentle can possess a hidden power, instinct or reaction that turns an innocent moment into a fatal disaster. What do you think really happened that day? Was the walrus just playing? Did it see its trainer and react with affection? Or was there something more to its actions? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear what you think. If you found this story shocking, fascinating, or just downright terrifying, do me a huge favor. Smash that like button. Because when you engage with the video, it tells YouTube that people love these savage tales, and that means we can bring you even more mind-blowing animal encounters. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. What are you waiting for? We dive into real-life stories of nature's most intense, bizarre, and terrifying encounters every single week. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. Ring that notification bell and set it to all, because you never know when we're going to drop another wild, untamed, and unforgettable story. If you don't have that bell on, you might miss out. Share your thoughts. What's the most unexpected animal encounter you've ever heard of? Have you ever had a close call with a wild animal? Let's talk about it in the comments. I read every single one, and I might even feature your comment in a future video. Share this video with your friends, family, or anyone who thinks animals are just harmless, cuddly creatures, because stories like this prove that nature doesn't play by our rules. I truly appreciate each and every one of you who took the time to watch, comment, and engage with this story. Your support helps us continue to bring raw, real, and jaw-dropping animal encounters straight to your screen. This has been Savage Tales Animal Encounters. I'll see you in the next one. Stay curious, stay cautious, and most of all, stay savage.